think it's dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll allow you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. We'll fall apart, I know that we're a mess. Then I know that you try your best. And you're calling me to over dramatically talk to me. And it's so funny, you're all I wanted. And I can't talk, want you out of my life, so just say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one. I'll just say none. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, you can look at a drift is going off.
All the way from back there. They're on board with Ben Gregory now. I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to the World GR86 series. It's fantastic to be back after what was an amazing first race weekend in this glorious championship, and I hope you are as excited as I am. The championship, of course, sponsored by Butt Kicker and in partnership with Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. My name is Chaz Draycott and I'm delighted to be back in the commentary box again, flying solo for this season here on the channel, but really looking forward to another night's racing. We had an amazing time out at Silverstone last time, I'm sure you will all agree. Plenty for us to look at, plenty for us to laugh at, shout about, all sorts. There was teammate contact, there was loads of championship points won and lost, with big deciding moments even in the early stages of the championship. If you please bear with me just a moment, I'm having to update some of the information that we have here behind the scenes for all the drivers in how they show up on the timing. It seems that for some reason the project file, which is basically the name of the save file for all the details and the graphics for each championship that I work on, it was overwritten automatically by the last file I was using for some reason over the weekend. I was doing another bit of work just to make sure that I could use this software for another championship, and unfortunately it's added in all of those driver details over the ones that we had here. So you may hear me now furiously typing all the drivers' names out manually, because life just has to be like that sometimes. But I'm managing to talk while I'm doing it, and hopefully I won't take too long to do it. I've only got another sort of 5 or 6 drivers to do, so if you do bear with me, everybody, I'm just going to get these written up, and then we'll be able to actually look at some championship points, and then of course look at qualifying, which is going on right now as well. We're going to have 3 races over the course of tonight. First one is going to be determined by qualifying, in terms of the grid order that is, and then we have the spinny wheel for the random reverse draw, basically deciding how many of the drivers get turned around. So we'll have up to, I believe 24 is the biggest that we can have. It's either 12 or 20, I think, at each end of things. And we're going to maybe get some big grid reverses tonight, because last time out it was a sort of average number that we basically got given. The overlay you will see will just disappear for a second and then reappear. And hopefully, if I've done this right, you should have driver names there. So thank you for your patience, everybody. Apologies for the issue there. That is technology kicking my backside. But as you all know, with PC gaming and simulated racing, it's a wonderful thing when it all works. But it's just all the setup and everything that goes into getting it to work, unfortunately. We look here at Alexander Davidson, car number 55, and well, he's the guy to be, really. If you look at the championship standings, he's top of the pile, 213 points to Esteban Rodriguez's 195. Jean-Baptiste Maceda currently 3rd in the championship, ahead of Evdoka, Jesper Eriksson, Matthew Crisp, Christoph Karekis and Michael Hafliderson. Naveed Hussein is 9th after winning the first race of the season in very dramatic fashion, and Maciej Sakovic, the highest AM driver, is currently on 161 points. I am working on getting the class colours on there as well, so you can see who is in AM and who is in Pro in amongst all of that. But as you see, it's very, very close all the way up and down, and there's a lot of points on offer in this championship for drivers to win from meeting to meeting. So with qualifying underway then, it's this man fastest at the moment, Alexander Davidson, with Evdoka and Rodriguez behind him as well, his teammates over at Pure Sims. Now we have 2 car teams for this championship, so they're going to be working together-ish, but not completely all the way through. We've got the WSR cars behind as well, Andy Shield there in the 007 machine, and Matt Bunn, his teammate, just next to him. You'll see the blue number boards on the cars, which are in the AM class, and the red number boards in the Pro class. You can see a bit of tactics going on here for some of the Pure Sims drivers, and as you'll see, we're not on the full layout here at Hockenheim. We're not going all the way down to the Parabolica. We're going to this different hairpin here, which swings around to the right hand side and then rejoins into the Mercedes-Benz Arena. It's a very cool circuit, this one though. Hockenheim is a massive challenge, and it's not the most entertaining circuit to lap on your own, but when you're racing around here and really throwing it about with other cars around you, some of the racing it can produce is just phenomenal. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, everybody. I see you all over there in the YouTube chat. Jonathan Walker, my good friend, how you doing, mate? Hope you're all right. Hope you're enjoying the racing so far. Not sure if I remember seeing you at the Silverstone round at the start of the season, but either way, hope you are doing well, mate. It's all very, very busy, isn't it, at the moment? Plenty going on all over the world. I'm not sure if you can see the actual footage coming through on the stream, unfortunately. So I hope you can, because you've said here he is Matt Bunn, but my feed at my end seems to have gotten stuck for some reason and isn't showing any cars. Anyway, here's Michael Hafliderson. Just coming into the hairpin now. As you see again, very tight round here. It's almost like a big bowl into that hairpin, but the curb, it's quite a high curb, so it's very easy to unsettle the car around there as it bounces away and nudges itself around. Michael goes on to another lap. Maciej Sakovic, fastest out of all of the AMs at the moment, doing an amazing job. Doing very well indeed is Maciej. Pretty untouchable driver from racing against him in previous championships, I have to say. He's very, very talented. Really clever young lad as well. Always a nice guy to chat to. But the two classes, interestingly enough, they score points based on where they are in their overall results in the race. So, you know, you will see reason for AM drivers to start fighting with some of the pros as the races go on. Excuse me, just had a massive sneeze then. I was going to say, as the races go on, you will see more reason for the drivers to really fight against each other. You know, the AM drivers will defend from pro drivers. They won't just sort of jump out of the way and let them go through. Obviously, they have to think about their own intentions in terms of where they may be amongst their other fellow competitors in their classes, but still, that's what makes championships like this so interesting. There's always a lot to think about. Right now, Maciej Sakovic is doing everything he needs to do in terms of getting pole position in his class for this round. Just keeping my eye on the timings just to see if there's anybody else that is really setting the world alight in terms of their laps, but can't see anyone that's making too much of a huge difference at the moment, unfortunately. There's a few teams, though, up and down the order that they stuck together quite a lot throughout the first race meeting at Silverstone. We saw it quite a bit with the team Mad Cars, and we also saw it with Fury Simsport as well. Alex Jenkins and his teammate Matthias Tem, who unfortunately is not here tonight, so we will not see them sticking together. So I'm wondering how well they're going to work together when they are separated like this. Could be an interesting one to watch for sure. We've got a couple of Swedish drivers in the championship as well. We have Jesper Eriksson, Michael Hefliderson, Matthias Tem from the Netherlands as well, and Jean-Baptiste Maceda, I believe from France, I believe. At least he was showing up as France in the last round of the championship anyway. The overlay does keep refreshing now. I'm just updating little bits of information here and there. And hopefully we'll have it all right by the end of the night. Alexander Davidson still fastest at the moment though for Pure Sims Esports, and he is the man that leads the championship outright. I'll be very happy with that, considering that he put it on pole for the very first race of the season and then had an issue with his gear shifts coming into the latter stages of the race. Lost a bunch of positions and a load of points in doing that. I think just ahead of him there on the circuit is Matthew Crisp for Alcatec NHR in this gorgeous RAF colour scheme on the Alcatec NHR car. 28 thousandths of a second is all that separates the top two at the moment. Michael Evdoka just behind Alexander Davidson. Morgan Butler is in 11th place at the moment, chasing one of his teammates in front as they go down the first half of the Parabolica anyway, before they then swing it round to the right and get onto the hairpin once again. Only 0.8 of a second between the fastest time at the top of the pile to the fastest AM driver. Look at the grass on the left hand side there. It's so easy to catch you out on this double apex right hander. A big curb on the exit as well. It is not a friendly corner at all, is it? We've got Marcus Adams just pulling over to one side here at the end of his lap. We've got Mikael Lees for Next Gen Racing. He's currently third fastest in his class as well. So doing a really solid job in the AM class. Sorry about this, my PC is just having a bit of a meltdown here as well. This is the night of technical issues for Chaz, it seems. Apologies. The qualifying session is just coming to an end though, so now we will get drivers finishing their laps, maybe going on to one more, as Matthew Crisp goes up to 5th fastest overall. Great effort by Matthew Crisp. I think the car he's chasing there is Adam Delmont, as around has gone Matt Bunn, and he's just jumped back to the pits. Has Delmont got enough time for another lap? That was very close there with Matthew Crisp Scary moment. Thought for a moment there he was going to get clipped, but no. Manages to get away with it. Stay on board with Delmont then into the hairpin. There's no even white line on the edge of the circuit down there, look. Is Delmont going to be able to do anything with this? He's got driver in front of him there. Oh, dives out of the way very, very suddenly. Who was that jumped out of the way? Oh, and Delmont decides that's the end of that. I think that was Harry Fox for Whiskins Racing in this gorgeous looking car. He's giving us a look of at all angles of it. In number 320, it does 180 degrees. And then he nips back to the pits. This is Mikel Lees round the final corner. Bouncing and bouncing all over the curbs. I don't think he's got it spot on around there, though. I don't think there's going to be any improvement. Didn't look like it based on the sector times. And no, he does not improve on his lap. Who else is going to complete a lap? Ian Mannes is already halfway round, and he's one of the last cars out there on the circuit. So Davidson takes pole position outright and in the pros, and then in the AMs it's going to be Maciej Sakovic that is top of their pile. So very well done to Maciej. Like I've said, 3 races tonight, plenty of entertainment and mayhem coming your way. Don't forget to subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media if you want to see all of the rounds of the championship. We've got 10 race meetings this season, 30 races total in some of the finest racing locations, virtually of course, in the world. And I can guarantee you that all of them are going to be super entertaining. We just wait now for the session to finish ticking over. And then we'll be all good to go. So let's have a look at the grid then for the first time this evening. Alexander Davidson will start on pole position. Alongside him will be Michael Evdoka, and then Esteban Rodriguez and Pete Newman. So Pure Sims Esports front row, Pure Sims SimLab second row. Then we have Alcantech NHR and AM Racing Team represented by Matthew Crisp and Michael Hafledison in the third row. Then it's Alex Jenkins and Jean-Baptiste Maceda. Christoph Karekis starts 9th ahead of Jesper Eriksson. Then we have Morgan Butler and Adam Delmont on row 6. Then it's Maciej Sakovic, head of the AMs, ahead of Harry Fox, Andy Scheel and James Neve. Mikel Lees and Marcus Adams are on row 9. Then we have Ian Manners alongside Matt Bunn, Nathan Davis and Rob Padgham on the 11th row, Matty Wild and Colin Sansom next up in 23rd and 24th. And the back 4 are Martin Kenyon, Roger Morton, Craig Jones and Liam Silkstone. So I hope you're all ready for a fight, because we're certainly going to get that around here at Hockenheim. It's always a lively one at this wonderful racing circuit. Just waiting to see now who manages to get the jump at the start, because it's so important to get an early decent track position here at Hockenheim. You can hear the iRacing pace car Porsche just ticking over there in the background. Hopefully no need for that this evening either. And I think we have all the cars on the grid now. We do, yes. So now they are going to get going. And the first race of the night then here at Hockenheim in the World GR86 Series is underway, and it looks like a very solid start for Alexander Davidson, but the second phase of it, he goes absolutely nowhere. Rodriguez gives him a headbutt. Evdoka's actually slipped into the lead there down the inside. Lovely job. Side-by-side teammates through turn 1 though. 4 Pure Sims cars lead the way. Matthew Crisp tries to get down the inside of this now as well. Pete Newman is into 5th, but Crispy's on his right. Crispy's going to try and infiltrate here in the Hurricane, as it looks like. Down the inside he goes. What about the shenanigans further back? Is everybody surviving? Certainly looks like it at this early stage. Never mind, there was contact further down. Who was that suffered from it? Craig Jones, I think, maybe involved in that one. but down the Parabolica for the first time. Well, half of it anyway. We get hard onto the brakes into the hairpin. Let's see how everyone survives here. Looking back a little bit into the AM class. It's all very tight and twisty, but still doing a solid job though. Is our race leader Alexander Davidson, Esteban Rodriguez and Michael Avdoka getting into a bit of civil war here again at Pure Sims as they're very close together. Avdoka bouncing all over the curbs. Matthew Crisp in there as well. He wants a piece of this. Trying to get around the outside is Crispy. It doesn't work for him. Biggest mover in the field so far. Well, there's a lot of drivers that have gained 2 places and a lot that have gained 1. Matty Wild has gained 2 places as well, and it's certainly Wild in front of him, which is Nathan Davis in the Joy Sport Tiger machine. He's going to try and go around the outside of him there. That's not going to work though. But look at this consistent train of cars. That's not going to work for Nathan Davis either, to be honest with you, running that wide. End of the first lap though. Alexander Davidson has a 1.1 second lead. He's actually flying away now that the battle is going on behind him. Mr. Hedge in the chat, Mark Fletcher on Twitch as well. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. As whoa, Nathan Davis certainly reconnecting with his Wild Tiger bred roots there. Flipping heck, really off in the bushes. I think Matt Bunn lost out a little bit there as well in avoidances. Oh no, Bunny's lost out even more. He's around and following him in complete sympathy. Oh no. Oh, Bunny hits the brakes, but nothing happens. Martin Kenyon in the Yorkshire Spirit Racing machine's off. The next gen car is off as well. That's Liam Silkstone with a complete 360. It was Colin Sansom that went off with Bunny. This is how it all started, though. Nathan Davis round the final couple of corners. It was Spirit of Yorkshire, sorry, for Martin Kenyon, not the Yorkshire Spirit Racing machine. So Nathan Davis goes off. Bunny has to back out of it. Then dives right back over to the right-hand side. He goes off, but then watch the year 1 car of Colin Sansom. He loses it as well. And Liam Silkstone in all of this dives out of the way, but then he's going to hit the barrier. And then does a lovely pirouette and 360 out of it. Very, very argy-bargy stuff, though. And it looks like Roger Morton's had a further issue, and Bunny's been off again since then. This is what happened to Roger Morton. Oh, Rob Sutherland with the poor jokes in the chat. I've made that one already, mate. Sorry. Oh, Morton was running deep and didn't want to hit the car in front of him and had to slam on, and around it goes. And he is now... Well, Martin Kenyon's sat in the pits. Davidson's definitely not, though. He's loving life out of the front of the field here. He is a very happy boy, isn't he? Certainly flying out front. Just trying to see what I can... There's an issue going on behind the scenes here with the classes again, which I said the other day. I said at the start of the broadcast that there's some sort of issue that keeps cropping up and kicking my head in, unfortunately, and for some reason right now it's not working still. So I'm trying my very best to fix this while the race is still going on. So please do bear with me, everyone. You will see the overlay flick in and out a little bit, so I'm sorry about that, but it will just happen, I'm afraid. I'm constantly plagued with technical issues here. It's all the fun of broadcasting. White Van Gaming saying, I think some people will give it a frosty reception. Oh, dearie me, sunshine. Now, Maciej Sakovic doesn't lead the AM class anymore. That's actually Mikael Lees that's doing that. Lees is at the top of this, just in front of Maciej, who's having his own little battle with Andy Scheel here. Series admin, trying what he can. Craig Jones is off the road, apparently. But don't forget, the points are given for overall places here, so these positions matter to absolutely everybody, because it affects everyone's championship points. Gotta love it though, haven't you? It looks fantastic around here. Look at turn 1 here at Hockenheim, over 2 wheels over the curb. Looks amazing, but it's not ideal for your lap times. Andy Scheel now trying to push on. Quite working for him yet though, is it? You can just see the moments where he tries to jump onto the back of the car ahead, Tries to maybe go a bit later on the brakes at certain points, but now the battle for the AM lead is hotting up in front. Mikel Lees having to work hard to defend from Maciej Sakovic. Polish driver doing everything he can do. I believe it is open setup in this series, Mark, but it's still ridiculously close between everybody. It really is cool. Oh, Maciej has a big wobble. Maciej has a proper wobble there through the left-hander. The car steps away from him. Andy Shield takes advantage, and all of a sudden Maciej cannot hold on to that position, and through as well comes James Neve. He's trying to get through. He's in the work guard by result team, which for some reason, I think that's part of the issue that I had last time. It's reset, unfortunately. He got safeguard by result and then work guard by result, so apologies guys for that not working, but I'll fix that now for you. It should be fixed now, there you go. But great battles all the way up and down the order, and Alexander Davidson now is suddenly not getting away at the front of the pack. He's been reined back in here. And to be honest, he needs to be careful, because it won't take long with a bit of the slipstream down the back straight here for these guys to claw him back in again. I'm fully expecting to see a move at some point by Esteban Rodriguez. Okay, that's going to be the last edit I'm going to make to the to the overlay, sorry. Matthew Crisp still holding on here in 4th place. He's got the 3 Pure Sims cars in front of him, 2 Pure Sims Esports, 1 Pure Sims SimLab, which is, of course, Esteban Rodriguez in the middle of these 3. Colin Sansom has apparently had a problem. Through the right-hander, is he going to clip the curb on the exit? Or is he just going to pull over? Yeah, he's just pulled over to one side there. I'm not quite sure what the problem was, unfortunately, but hope he's alright either way. Back to Matthew Crisp we go. 4th place at the moment. Pure Sims cars completely filling his view at the moment. And he's got Pete Newman about 3/4 of a second behind him. So he's not under immediate attack, but then there's a great battle going on here with Alex Jenkins, Jesper Eriksson, Christoph Karekis, Jean-Baptiste Maceda, Michael Hefliderson and Adam Delmont at the back of this for the Next Gen Racing team. There's a few liveries in this championship that do look remarkably similar, so please do forgive me if I get any of them wrong. There's a number of sort of black, orange, green and purple liveries in this series. A lot of them do blend into one another sometimes for me when it's still a new championship. Nice to see Harry Fox out there in this gorgeous Whiskins racing machine. It's a very good looking race car indeed. He's not having the best of races so far though, unfortunately. He's not at the top of his pile. Maciej Sakovic is coming under a bit of pressure here as well from James Neve, who's now tried to get another run. Maciej didn't quite get the run onto the Parabolica. James is going to look around the outside, tries to slow it down carefully, giving all the room to Maciej down the inside. Ian Manners wants a bit of this as well for 52 Racing. He senses blood in the water, he looks down the inside. No need to though, as James Neve is the one putting the move on Sakovic. Doesn't work for him there. Sakovic gets a good run, and now all of a sudden Manners is filling his mirrors, and Marcus Adams from Wieners Semantics, part of a real racing team in the real world. I think it's the Silver Lake C1 Challenge those guys racing for Wieners. Marcus Adams in the very bright looking machine, certainly trying to get the pressure on the guys ahead here. We're nearly at the halfway point of this first race already. I can't believe that, to be honest with you. Well, Marcus pushing a little bit hard through the hairpin there, and it doesn't work for him, I'm afraid. Nathan Davis and Rob Padgham have had an issue a bit further down the order here. Oh, Nathan unfortunately just over rotates it. And I'm hoping that we don't see him... Oh, never mind. It was obviously a separate incident to whatever Rob Padgham had going on. Rob's going to hit the gravel and then the car is going to go... Oh no. I completely misjudged that. Sorry, Rob. But the amount of cars that I've seen go around that right-hander way too quick, clip the gravel and then fly into the barrier on the left-hand side of shot. Well, if I had a quid... Look at these three now. These 3 Pure Sims cars all trying not to hit each other. Of course, there was a bit of drama last time out at Silverstone because of the contact between Morgan Butler and his teammate Pete Newman, who currently runs in 5th place. Those two coming together right at the end of the race and allowing Naveed Hussein to take the first ever race win in the championship. But Naveed, unfortunately, not here this week. Here's Adam Delmont and Michael Hafliderson. Or Hafliderson. Trying to put the pressure on and force Delmont into a mistake. Morgan Butler and Jean-Baptiste Masida have contact. JB's off. Comes back on again. Butler's overtaken. Or is he? Harry Fox tries to go through. There's contact with Hafliderson and Adam Delmont as well. It's all getting very elbows out here, isn't it, at this part? And look at that behind as well. Andy Shield now upsetting the balance at the front of the AM class, because this is Mikael Lees and Maciej Sakovic. Maciej can now smell blood in the water. He tries to go through down the inside. Mikael leaves him room. Maciej tries to leave him room as well. It's all very respectful stuff. But all of a sudden involved in this is going to be James Neve and Ian Manners trying to come through for the class lead. 2 wide through the first corner is not good, boys. Oh, and it's a scary old moment, and Sakovic is now 3 wide with Ian Manners in the middle. James Neve on the outside, Sakovic on the inside. Sakovic, I'd imagine, will back out of that one. He's got a wise head on him as Maciej. James is on the outside, and suddenly Ian Manners is the one that's actually gained 2 places out of this, while the other 2 were scrapping. But look at the lead it's given Mikael Lees. It's nearly a second now in the AM class that Mikael is able to break free. And he's going to be happy with that, especially if he can latch onto the back of Andy Shield and try and move forward with him and break away. You just get the sense, though, with these cars, you know, they're not I can't get my words out. They're not the most powerful things in the world, but they have this sort of slow feeling about them in start-stop circuits because of that lack of power compared to something like, I don't know, a GT3 car. Here's Hafliderson and Morgan Butler leaning on one another through the right-hander. Morgan's now on the inside for the left hairpin. Michael tries to give him room. He got elbowed out there on the previous lap. And Morgan just... oh, I thought he'd slotted through, but he hasn't yet. And Hafliderson is back down the inside, still side by side around the final couple of corners. Harry Fox and JB Masida in there as well, trying to get back involved with this. JB now at the back of this one. He gets to see the battle going on ahead. They're kissing wing mirrors into turn 1. Morgan Butler tries to hang it around the outside. Hafliderson runs a bit wide. Morgan's got to be so careful there. Oh my goodness me, that was very close. He moves back over to the right. There's a tiny bit of a touch. JB throws it up the inside in the Team Mad car. And Harry Fox loses out. Let's have a look further back, because Mikael Lees still holds on to that AM class lead. And then Ian Manners, James Neve and Maciej Sakovic are the chasing pack, but not quite able to get back on terms with him at the moment. Back to the front of the field though. And we have Alex Davidson still leading this one. Championship leader ahead of Esteban Rodriguez. Certainly holding station nicely right now. They'll be really chuffed with this if they can continue to make that work. And Matthew Crisp is suddenly all over the back of Michael F. Doker again. Oh no, Ian Manners has had a problem. Ian Manners was in front of these pair into the hairpin as he just over-rotated it. Oh, on the downshift it was going around, and oh, Maciej had nowhere to go, and he's had big contact. Ian reverses it off the road. A simple spin there for Ian Manners. It's easy to do that in these cars. The downshifts can be quite aggressive, so they really do upset the rear of the car. We're nearly at 15 minutes race distance. Completed 9 laps now. We go on to the 10th lap of the race here at Hockenheim on this glorious Tuesday night. And thank you all for joining me so far. My name's Chaz Draycott, as you can probably imagine, here on Chaz Draycott Media, the gaffer, broadcasting this championship and commentating it solo this season. Really grateful to WSR and some of my wonderful friends that I have there for bringing this series to the channel. I know that we're going to have a really fun and entertaining season. Even this part of the Parabolica feels big in one of these cars, doesn't it? As we ride on board now with Harry Fox, car 320. He's got JB Masida in front of him. He just shows his nose down the inside of Morgan Butler there. Harry even goes into first gear through the double right-hander there. That's quite interesting. Just shows you how much they do slow down by. Haflidason is holding on to 10th place, but he started this race 6th on the grid, so he won't be too chuffed with the fact that he's lost those 4 places. Sakovic has also lost 4 spots. Biggest move is actually Liam Silkstone, despite that big moment he had before. There's a bunch of cars that have been in the pits behind him and had damage, and he's managed to take advantage of that. And he's gained 7 spots from where he started. Matty Wilde has gained 4 as well, so he's having a decent move. As I'm afraid, Martin Kenyon has been out of the pits again and had a problem. Let's have a look. I can tell you as well that Harry Fox got past JB Masida not long ago. Oh, Martin's just having the car misbehave on him. As you could see, this is Harry Fox then getting past JB Masida. Oh, everybody going off the road. Wow, what a save that was by Delmont just in front. Oh, and JB loses it. Harry straightens him up and gets a position out of it as well. There's Martin trying to push on the gorgeous Spirit of Yorkshire car. Martin's raced in a number of my leagues and always had very pretty race cars. The Formula Renault 3.5 Championship being one of them. So the top 6 at the moment, pretty, well, actually no, the top 5 I'd say. It's close together. There's about a second back from Pete Newman to Christoph Karekis. He's having a decent race ahead of Alex Jenkins, but they're just not able to break into the top 5 yet. Battle further down between Delmont, Haflidason and Morgan Butler, and Delmont's just made a mistake actually there, so now the Swede will be all over the back of him. Let's not forget Michael won a race outright at Silverstone, so he's going to be on the attack. You can see just how hard these guys are pushing right now. Delmont was all over the gravel a lap ago. This time doesn't quite push his luck as much. The AM Racing Machine all over him though, and then Morgan Butler all over the back of Michael. Bit of a scary time really when you're following in a train this closely. It only takes one tiny mistake from the cars in front and it can all go to pot. Here's the onboard view from where Morgan is. It's about 1 minute and 37 seconds a lap here, so we should have one more lap after this one. There's a bit of smoke there in front from Adam Delmont's car. Nothing too much to worry about. This is the closest battle in the field. They all need to be so careful at this point not to run into the back of each other. There's been a move on Christoph Karekis and Pete Newman. Pete Newman's lost time and he's lost ground as he had a slowdown penalty or something there. Wow, Pete drops back 2 places in just a moment. Danny Solo in the chat, good to see you mate, hope you're doing alright. Back to the front of the field, we've got Alex Davidson still leading this, ahead of Esteban Rodriguez. Michael Evdoka and Matthew Crisp, 3rd and 4th. Still doing a solid job there. And then, of course, that newly formed trio just behind. Mikael Lees carries on leading in the AM class. He's got 3.6 seconds over James Neve as well, so he's certainly got a bit of breathing room, to say the least. 3.6 seconds is a lovely gap to have. There is the gap. You can see James in the black and orange car in the background. He's then got 1.7 seconds over Maciej Sakovic. But as Alexander Davidson comes around the final corner now, he's going to start the final lap of this race. And he's got his teammate Esteban Rodriguez all over the back of him. Is Esteban going to go for a move? They are stablemates at Pure Sims, but they're not technically in the same team in this championship. We've seen the orders before that Pete Newman tried to overtake Morgan Butler in the final corners of the race at Silverstone at the start of the season. It looks to me like Esteban is pushing Alex along here, and he's moving out to one side to try and make a move. He's very close to contact though. Doesn't need to be that close. And Alexander Davidson says now, get out there sunshine, you're not going to make this one work. Are we going to see another bit of drama at the end of this race involving stablemates at Pure Sims, because we had it in the very first race of the season. Now we'll have to see what happens here as Rodriguez tries to get the cut back. He's tipped into the back of Alexander Davidson, unsettles the back of the car. Davidson somehow holds on to it. I don't quite know how he did, but that thing wanted to break away big time. Davidson still leads them with just a few corners left. Is Rodriguez going to throw one up the inside? Is he going to try and set up a move into the final couple of corners? Goes wide round the left-hand hairpin, hoping to get a good run. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. It's not even going to be enough for Evdoka behind, is it, to try and mount an attack here. And I think, once again, Alexander Davidson is going to get the job done. There's been drama further back. Hafliderson is dropping down. But for the first time tonight, Alexander Davidson wins at Hockenheim. Esteban Rodriguez second. Evdoka third, makes it an all Pure Sims podium ahead of Matthew Crisp. Then it's Karekis, Jenkins and Pete Newman. And then in the background, Adam Delmont is going to finish ahead of Morgan Butler. But let's have a look at what happened to, well, not just Michael Hafliderson, but Colin Sansom, who went off the circuit. Oh, he's had a big old spin. Whoa, just gets avoided by the car behind. Let's have a look. Michael Hafliderson, this is right at the end of the race. He's attacking Adam Delmont. He's trying to go around the outside. Delmont brakes late. Oh, Michael's just outdone himself. Throws it off the road and Morgan Butler goes through. Mikael Lees, by the way, has taken the win in the AM class. Very well done to Mikael Lees. He finishes ahead of James Neve and then Maciej Sakovic. And that rounds out our first race of the night. Fantastic entertainment, wouldn't you agree? I thought that was very, very good fun. What we're going to do then is, very quickly, we will do the reverse grid draw. So we will now have a look at who is going to end up on pole position for race 2 of the night. Let's bring it in and let's give it a spin, shall we? So whichever this result, basically whichever this finishes on, or spins to, is going to be the number of reverse positions. Oh, I'd call that 18. That is only just 18. Wow, that is very, very close, is it not? Very, very close. So we're going to have 18 drivers reversed on the grid. I've got to let the admins of the championship know, and then we'll bring back the results and we'll have a look at how that race finished panning out. Alexander Davidson takes the race win. Esteban Rodriguez next up in second place. Michael Evdoka finishing in third. Matthew Crisp in fourth ahead of Christoph Karekis, Alex Jenkins and Pete Newman, who unfortunately lost a couple of places right at the end. Jesper Eriksson finishes in eighth under the radar for him. Adam Delmont ninth ahead of Morgan Butler, who rounds out your top 10. Harry Fox was 11th. Jean-Baptiste Maceda was 12th ahead of Andy Scheel. And then Mikael Lees takes the race win in the AM class. He was ahead of Michael Hafliderson. James Neve and Maciej Sakovic round out the AM podium. Then we have Marcus Adams in 18th position. Next up was Matty Wilde ahead of Ian Manners, with Liam Silkstone and Craig Jones 21st and 22nd. Matt Bunn finishes 23rd outright. Roger Morton was next up ahead of Rob Padgham, and then one lap down or more we had Colin Sansom, Martin Kenyon and Nathan Davis, who was out of the race early on. So, first race of the night completed then, everybody. Really hope you enjoyed that one. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break here on Chaz Draycott Media to get into the next session of the night. So if you bear with me, I'll be back with you again very, very soon. And we'll get race 2 coming up shortly.
the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close, now my heart's wide open, when I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain, do you make it go away, do you make it
4 French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a race to go out. All the way from back there. They're on board with Ben Gregory now. I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Anderson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
want you to stay. I want you to stay. I want you to stay.
Hello again everybody, Chaz Draycott here for the World GR86 Series, sponsored by Buttkicker by WSR World Sim Racing. My name is Chaz Draycott, as I've said. Sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself here. I'm excited for the second race of the night. I'm sure you will be as well. We've got warm-up just going on at the moment, and we're here at the wonderful Hockenheimring. Plenty of drivers out on circuit at the moment, just trying to get that extra little bit of practice in the new conditions ahead of the second race of the day. The reverse grid was drawn just beforehand, and it drew 18 positions, so it meant that the driver that finished in 18th place in the last race will go on to pole position for this one. It's bound to be a lot of fun. I hope you're all excited to be joining me for this one, and looking forward to another great race. This championship has certainly been an interesting one already, with loads and loads of potential race winners and championship contenders in the early stages. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of twists and tails going through for the rest of the championship. And not a dull moment, I'm sure, as we move on. Alexander Davidson took the first race win of the night, though, not without a challenge from his teammate Esteban Rodriguez, I should say. Then again, Esteban more of a stable mate to him. They're not actually teammates in this championship as such. They just both drive for Pure Sims under the Pure Sims umbrella, so to speak. Let's have a look at our grid then before we get things underway. JB Masida will be pretty happy to be on pole position, because he was saying how much he hated this car track combo, and to be honest with you, the graphic is already wrong because it's changed around. Apologies. That is, as you see there, Marcus Adams on pole position ahead of Maciej Sakovic. James Neve and Michael Hefliderson are on the second row. Then it's Mikael Lees and Andy Shields, JB Masida and Harry Fox, Morgan Butler and Adam Delmont on the next row, the grade ahead of Jesper Eriksson and Pete Newman. Then we have Alex Jenkins and Christoph Karekis, Matthew Crisp and Michael Avdoka, Esteban Rodriguez and Alexander Davidson, Matty Wild and Ian Manners, Liam Silkstone and Craig Jones, Matt Bunn and Roger Morton, Rob Padgham, Colin Sansom and Martin Kenyon round out your field. There is the beautifully formed grid before us. There is the Venus Semantics car. There is Maciej Sakovic, and there is the man that beat him in the first race, James Neve. Mikael Lees won the AM class in that first race as well. The lights are coming on though, and the fifth round of the championship in the World GR86 Series from Hockenheim gets underway. Initial wheel spin by Marcus Adams, but he goes nowhere in the long run, and look at that, through the middle goes James Neve. He says thanks very much, I'll take the freebie. Maciej Sakovic is going to be on the inside line though, and he needs to leave the room. No, Maciej's around. Maciej spins on the inside. He tried to leave as much room as possible, but unfortunately he hit the curb and it's unsettled the car, and he's lost the place. Well, he's lost a lot of places. Michael Hefliderson down the inside into second he goes. Is there any shenanigans further back? There is. Whoa, cars around, loads of cars around. Matthew Crisp in that. Oh, Esteban Rodriguez involved as well. Esteban is completely backwards. Or he's not, sorry, he was hit into a car that was completely backwards. But wow, big old contact there near the back of the pack. Not sure who caused that, but we will have a look back. JB Masida is already out of the race. I said a moment ago he hated this car track combo, and there is more reason to. It's not gone well for him in the opening stages. There's Matty Wild in the DCW racing machine. He's gained 6 places already thanks to that incident. We've got Michael Avdoka making his way through the pack. He's gained 5 spots right now. More shenanigans further back as Morgan Butler's got a great view in his rearview mirror anyway of Rob Padgham chucking it down the inside of Liam Silkstone. Those two glued to each other. Liam has a bit of a wiggle through the right-hander. But going back up to the front though, it's James Neve leading Michael Hefliderson. And Michael benefited from the reverse grid at Silverstone. to take a win in the second race of the night there, and he's going to hopefully do it again here as Alex Davidson. Oh, that's big old contact with Jesper Eriksson. To be honest, he seemed to just expect Jesper to disappear when they got out of the corner. And Jesper made sure that he didn't roll over and let him just take that room and bin him off. Alex Jenkins having a bit of a fight now as well. Here comes Avdoka coming through. Boy, this is close and rough stuff already. Jenkins can't dive to the inside because Avdoka's there. He does dive to the inside, and Avdoka is not there. Flipping heck, that scared me. Wondered what he was doing for a second there. Avdoka clearly backed out of it, knew better of it. Didn't want to push his luck with that. We need to keep our eye on this though, because this could get very feisty as Avdoka tries to outbrake Jenkins, sends him for a hot dog down the inside. Pete Newman tries to go around the outside. That's then going to become the inside. Adam Delmont's now the one with the front row seat for this. Avdoka is hung out to dry on the right. Fantastic racing though. Great production car, touring car-esque racing between all these guys. There's the bump draft from Delmont into the back of Pete Newman. Now he tries to kiss the inside line as well, does Delmont. Delmont and Pete have raced together in MX-5s on iRacing for a very long time. And now Alexander Davidson picks his next fight with Marcus Adams, who's currently second in the AM class. He's letting a lot of these pro drivers by, as Hafliderson has taken the race lead, actually, from James Neve. Let's have a look. Oh, he did it down into turn 2 while all of the battles were going on. Nice stuff by Neve. He doesn't overdo it. Doesn't push his luck too much there. I like that. We've got Matt Bunn here of WSR trying to go down the inside of Matty Wild, and, well, unfortunately overdoes it there. Clips the curb. I said earlier about that curb upsetting the car. And Matt Bunn has proven that it does just that. Oh, more shenanigans as Avdoka and Lees go off the circuit. Let's have a look back though at the start of the race, shall we? Let's see if we can pick apart whatever the hell happened. JB Masida is the yellow and green car in the middle of his shot there. This is as the lights go out. So we'll see how all of this comes together. He's got Morgan Butler directly behind him. I believe the car on the right there is the Wiskins car, is it not? That's Harry Fox. He's currently 4th place in this race, is Harry. There's Majek around, off on the right. Morgan's the car in the middle. Harry's the black car on the right. There's a move into the middle there from Jesper Eriksson. Oh, Harry Fox into JB. JB then overcorrects, hits Morgan. Oh, and he gets hit by 2 Pure Sims cars. It was, yeah, Harry Fox, unfortunately, that caused the issue there. And I don't think it was anything that untoward, to be honest with you. I'll look from where Harry is. If we go on board, there's Majek going off to the right. There's JB Masida. And actually, Harry Fox has just gone off the circuit in real time. So he's off the brakes, and just doesn't get it stopped in time. And then, yeah, the incident happens behind him. We go live, though. Oh, there was actually another car off just after that I missed on the outside of the circuit. But Harry Fox has had a big old issue here, and Marcus Adams may have been involved in this as well. Adams is behind it all. Fox is on the outside of it. Is that Davidson? It is. And he's losing it. He's losing it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. I'm not sure that Harry could do a lot to stop the car coming back on the circuit there, but it was a very unfortunate rejoin, wasn't it? I'm not sure he could do a lot to get the car slowed down or change the direction of it there, but that looked very, very painful. Christoph Karekis now under attack from Alexander Davidson as he carries on his march through the order. Very close to contact there as they get onto the brakes, but still great racing. Here's Rob Padgham with Roger Morton, Liam Silkstone, and then Colin Sansom behind as Morton has a big old moment sideways there in the Result Clothing car. Oh, and another one. Hello, he's all over the shop. There is Morton. Got Liam Silkstone trying to find a gap, trying to find some traction, and trying to find some room to get back on the circuit there as well. So it's all lively back there. He's into the hairpin again. Alex Davidson, championship leader. continues to do a great job. Here's the 4C Sports machine of Jesper Eriksson, 6th place at the moment. Hoping to get past Karekis pretty soon as we've looked away from Colin Sansom and his friends in that battle there, and Colin's had an off, I'm afraid. I think this is going to be one of the typical clipping the grass with the left rear, or clipping the gravel, I should say. Oh no, he's actually hit the inside curb, and somehow Maciej Sakovic does not hit him. And he doesn't hit anything else either, does Colin, so fair effort, to be fair. It's not easy to go off there and not hit something. Here is a move by Jesper Eriksson down the inside of Krzysztof Karekis. Oh, Krzysztof just affords him enough room, but still makes the inside line work for the next corner. And now Eriksson's going to have to try again as they go down half of the parabolica towards the hairpin. We look forward from Karekis though. You'll be able to see if he can see an attack coming, or if he knows that there's going to be a send somewhere. There's a bit of blinking in and out going on over there. That is going to be Andy Shield, series admin, currently in 3rd place. He's gained 3 places. Alexander Davidson has gained 14. It's been a problem for Rob Padgham, I'm afraid. He's been involved in this fight. Oh, leaned on one of the work guard cars. Oh, he tries to come across to the inside and there's a car there, I'm afraid. And then he ends up in the barrier. Yeah, there was already a car on the inside there, and I don't think he knew that there was quite the overlap that there was. And that, unfortunately, will have affected his race very, very badly. This is your race leader, though, Michael Hafliderson. And this quartet together is very feisty, isn't it? Especially with the fact that Alex Davidson is going to be wanting to push through here. We've got Delmont holding on to position a bit further back as well. He's got his teammate Mikael Lees, pro and then Am in this group as, oh dearie me, Andy Shield, series admin. As soon as I look away from him, it's all gone to pot. What on earth has happened here? He's got his teammate or stablemate Alex Davidson. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh no! Oh, that's a sickening impact. I was going to say, how did he end up with that much damage and end up over there? He had a blink in and out, didn't he? There. And then he comes back on. Alex moves over to the right and just clips the back of him. But look at the energy that was thrown through that car by that hit into the wall. And unfortunately, Andy Shield will be rather sore after that one. We're not even at the halfway point of this race yet. And still the action is rife as Davidson looks down the inside of James Neve, tries to scare him wide slightly, doesn't lean on him. Close to. He's going to try and carry it around the outside now. Davidson showing us just how good he is. Neve doesn't quite get rid of the overlap there. He needs to be careful though, because Davidson's still on the inside. Krzysztof Karekis could take advantage of this as well. Now these guys aren't in the AM class, so Neve doesn't need to worry about them too much, just needs to not lose his head in this situation because he's got a few places over Mikael Lees. Side by side now, down the inside goes Jesper Eriksson. Jesper slots in front. Lovely stuff, great use of his wise head there by James Neve. I like that. Doesn't fight the AMs too much. Here's a bit of shenanigans. This is Craig Jones. Oh, he's just got into the back of Liam Silkstone, and he is the one that comes off worse. Bounces one way, then the other. Tried to find a gap that I don't think was there on the exit of that corner. And now we have James Neve still leading the AM class. Mikael Lees, second in the AM class, is actually in a bit of a fight here with Pete Newman. This is not what he wants to try and move forward in the class. Ian Manners just behind this is third in the AM class as well, so he's going to try and push on. And look how close they can get to each other here without any major contact. See if there's anybody really that's setting an amazing pace. Esteban Rodriguez is going well just behind this lot, actually, as all shenanigans ahead as Ian Manners is overtaken by Matthew Crisp. He pushes his way through. Morgan Butler wants a piece of it as well. Then Esteban Rodriguez will be trying this and all. Although Matthew Crisp has actually been re-overtaken by Ian Manners, and Morgan can sense there's going to be a gap open here. Which way is Morgan going to go? He's not going to make it 3 wide, surely. Pushes Ian to try and make it more difficult for Matthew Crisp, and hoping to compromise the pair of them. Oh, he's given Ian a push. Oh no, and Morgan's been clipped again. That's the second race meeting in a row where he's had contact with a Pure Sim SimLab car. And Esteban Rodriguez, well, he showed before that he wasn't really that scared of getting close to his teammates. He's shown him again now. Well, that's not going to go down well. Here's Bunny. Through the right-hander into the hairpin. Oh, he just catches the correction and just off the road he goes. I think he's going to avoid the barrier. Yes, he does. Back to the front, though, and Alexander Davidson is chasing down Michael Hafliderson. And he's going to try to get 2 wins out of 2 here. That would be quite remarkable. Because let's not forget, it was 18 positions that were reversed on the grid. Threw him all the way down there. And now he's starting to attack the back of the Swedish AM Racing Team car in front. Final couple of corners. You can see Alexander's just taking his own lines here and trying to set a move up. He's being very, very smooth. Good on the tyres as well. Look at the run that he's got here. He's just going to give a little push to the back of Michael Hafliderson's car. And Michael's dipped it on the grass. What a save! What a save by our race leader. Hafliderson flings it sideways. I'm going to be calling him a Flingerson. Unbelievable stuff. Wow. Well, but you'll see it here. He just gets a wheel on the AstroTurf and on the grass. Wasn't a result of the contact, because look, the contact's well done. He just clips the gravel and whoa, that is sideways. Unreal save. Absolutely unreal save. We're going to go on board with Christopher Karekis here. Just see how suddenly it goes, look. Bang! There you go. It almost looked like it was contact from where we were there, but we of course know there wasn't. Dearie me, what a save. There's civil war going on in the AM class as well, as Ian Manners and Mikael Lees knock 7 shades of whatever colour they want out of each other. They're 2 very brightly coloured cars here. We've got blue, green, purple, orange, black, all sorts. And now Esteban Rodriguez wants to get involved as well, and I think after the history that Rodriguez has had in this race meeting alone, I don't think I'd be too confident sitting in front of him right now. I'd be scared he was going to just punt me off. Matt Bunn and Rob Padgham have had an issue as well. I'm not sure if it's related, but the 2 of them coming to blows further down as it really checks up on the exit there. Mikael Lees very slow out the hairpin. Let's have a look at what happened to Bunny and Padgham. They just so happen to be right together when this has happened. Rob's a little bit late turning in, and Bunny goes to turn in, and unfortunately the 2 of them cling together. It's still going on for second in the AM class as Manners, runs out of manners and flies off the road. And look at that, Rodriguez gets a great run out of turn 1. He's going to put pressure on Mikael Lees now down the inside. Manners got a slowdown penalty there, and you'll see him backing off quite a lot. Rodriguez parks it on the apex. He's seen that Mikael himself is a little bit flamboyant in this race, isn't he? Certainly throwing the car around. Further up the order, we've still got Alex Davidson leading the race. Christoph Karekis and Jesper Eriksson are just behind, and then James Neve is behind Michael Hafliderson. And Neve leads the AM class still, doing a great job right now. We're on lap 10 out of the 20-minute race. We should probably get another 2 or 3 laps, I reckon. Actually, no, we're going to get probably even more than that, maybe 3 or 4, actually. Karekis now putting Davidson under pressure, though, trying whatever he can. And now Jesper Eriksson says, I'll try it. Go on, let me have a go. I'll try and go through. And he's saying, no, you're just holding both of us up. Don't do that. Davidson has a bounce over the curbs. None of them can decide what they want here. We go on board with Jesper Eriksson then. Round the final couple of corners, it's difficult to follow cars through there. Look at him fighting the wheel. They're all over the AstroTurf, all over the Carras as well. And Jesper Eriksson is a man with a good front row seat here and good potential slipstream to catch up with these two. Are either of them going to get slowdown penalties for that? I don't think they will. Looks like they got away with it for now. Hard onto the brakes into turn 2 before we go into the Parabolica. Got to be so careful with the weight transfer over that curb as well, with the car wanting to flick itself one way and then the other very quickly. And down into hard braking zone again. Karekis looks down the inside, but still nothing doing. The thing is though, if Eriksson fights with Karekis too hard here, they're going to lose Davidson in front and he's going to drive off to an easy victory. Marty Wilde and Magic Sakovic are having a bit of a scrap together. This is for 4th place in the AM class. Magic doing a great recovery drive considering that he was off right at the start from 2nd on the grid. Oh no, Mikel Lees. Mikel Lees is off and he's in the barrier. The driver that won the AM class in the first race today. He's off and he's in the wall and the suspension's broken. It looked like it was anyway. It certainly didn't look right when he went into the barrier. I think we're going to see now whether it's right or not. Oh heck. Now was it something to do with Esteban Rodriguez? Because if it was, I'm afraid it's not going to be a popular moment. And no, it was not. He nearly hit him. And it was all on his own was Mikel's moment. And that's a real shame. He'll be gutted with that one. Here we go then. We might have one more lap after this, I think. Just looking at the times now. It's 1:37s, 1:38s for pretty much everybody. 1:38s and 9s actually for the majority of the field. Alexander Davidson started this lap with about 1 minute and 48 on the clock, I believe. So we should be okay. Only a minute left to go anyway. So we will certainly cross the line before that is up, I reckon. But Davidson's in a perfect opportunity, a perfect situation right now because he's got Karekis and Eriksson fighting each other behind him. That's perfect for him. Look at how much curb they're taking there as well. Jesper Eriksson watching as Karekis takes a mile of curb on the inside of the right-hander. And look, just behind him as well, he's got his countryman, Michael Haflidersen, all over the back of him. This is playing into Davidson's hands, and we've got 20 seconds left on the clock now, so that means we are going to get one more lap here at the Hockenheimring. Oh no, Martin Kenyon's had an off. He's off the circuit down at the hairpin, recovering ahead of Marcus Adams. Marcus keeps it to the inside and makes sure that there isn't contact. Let's have a look then at what these guys can do in the final lap, as there's a big send. Jesper Eriksson throws it up the inside. He says, right, we know that Alex is probably going to win this race, Christoph. Let's have a fight. Christoph loses it one way, then the other. Eriksson places his car perfectly. What about Michael Haflidersen in all of this? Can he do anything with it? Please don't make it 3 wide, Michael. Please don't make it 3 wide. Michael Haflidersen makes it 3 wide. On this very wide circuit, there's contact between him and Karekis. Karekis finds himself around the outside of Eriksson. Haflidersen goes through down the inside. Eriksson's pushing Haflidersen. Haflidersen's pushing Karekis off the road. He comes back on, barges into the side of him. Oh, it's all very unnecessary, boys. It's very messy. But wow, how none of them got turned around and all that, I don't know. I think Haflidersen might have a bit of damage there because it seemed like the car did not want to behave itself. He made it 3 wide, but then there was a big old shove, and I think it looked like a bit of retaliation from Christoph Karekis after that, as Eriksson now down the inside, the two Swedes together. Oh, Haflidersen's way off the road, comes back on, but manages to keep it pointing the right way. Will he make the hairpin? I think he will. Amazing stuff by Haflidersen. Somehow stays in front of Jesper Eriksson, or does he? Because he's off the road. Now he's back on again. Not sure if Jesper's going to jump underneath him in the penultimate corner. There's not contact. Somehow the two of them make it through there. Is he going to make it ahead around the final corner? We'll have to wait and see as they come into shot, because Alexander Davidson takes 2 wins out of 2 at Hockenheim. Great drive. Wow, 18th on the grid to win. Karekis finishes in 2nd. Haflidason finishes in 3rd ahead of Ericsson. Avdoka finishes 5th. And James Neve takes the win in the AM class. Great drive by James. Ian Manners is going to finish 2nd in the AM class as well. And just in the background there is Morgan Butler and Maciej Sakovic, who takes 3rd place in the AM class. Very frustrated by that. I don't agree with the drivers just pulling over and disappearing. I think it, and if I'm honest, it looks terrible. But wow, what a busy race once again we've had. As, oh no, Colin Sansom's off the road. He's decided to take the short route back to the pit lane. He's had some sort of issue there. Mikael Lees going off as well in the latter stages of the race. Wow. Another very, very busy one, that's for sure. Plenty of entertainment up and down the pack, though. It's what we love, isn't it? It's what we love to see. So, it's time to bring in the reverse grid spinny wheel. This is the bit that we ought to get out of the way very quickly so the admins can see what the reverse grid is going to be. I can let them know. And then we'll figure out how it's going to play out. 18 again? No, that's a bit more convincingly on 11 this time. That is going to put Ian Manners on pole position. He's going to be absolutely over the moon with that one, isn't he? Very, very good stuff for Ian Manners. So, he's going to take pole position for the 3rd and final race of the night. But before we get into that, we're going to have a look at the results. Eventually. There we go. Alexander Davidson takes 2 wins out of 2 tonight. Very well done indeed. Christoph Karekis takes 2nd place, surviving that last lap mayhem ahead of Michael Haflidason. Jesper Eriksson finishes in 4th, Michael Avdoka finishes 5th, James Neve is 6th and wins the AM class. Adam Delmont, car 77, is P7 with Matthew Crispin 8th, Pete Newman 9th and Esteban Rodriguez rounds out the top 10. Ian Manners is 11th, ahead of Morgan Butler in 12th. Ian Manners taking 2nd in AM class and pole position for the next race. Maciej Sakovic 13th, 3rd in the AM class. He's ahead of Matty Wild and Mikael Lees. Liam Silkstone 16th, ahead of Roger Morton and then Matt Bunn, the championship admin. And then we have Craig Jones and Marcus Adams rounding out your top 20. Martin Kenyon was next up, ahead of Rob Padgham, and then the cars 1 lap down or more were Colin Sansom, Andy Shield, Alex Jenkins, Harry Fox and JB Masida. Well, like I say, another very busy race, everybody. Really hope that you enjoyed that one. Of course, we're just going to take a quick break here on Chance Draycott Media, get into the next session. We'll have a little ad break, and then we'll bring you right back up to speed and get into the 3rd race of the night. Round 6 of the World GR86 Series, sponsored by Bookkicker, is coming right up.
Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it?
White Van Gaming in the YouTube chat is absolutely right, though. I know that I don't... Well, I know that, you know, I do this single-handedly, but I am actually not going anywhere in these breaks now. I'm about to stop the Spotify music, and we're about to play some adverts, so have a nice watch of these, will you?
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're three wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a switch to show out.
Dan Gregory now. I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hope you enjoyed our wonderful adverts, everybody. We're just getting into the session and getting everything sorted, and then we will let warm up, just take a few minutes, Actually, warm-up is on now, as you can probably hear in the background. And then we'll have the final race of the night here from the World GR86 Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker here on Chaz Draycott Media. I'll be back with you in a minute.
And I won't ride back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, nothing to know. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before. So take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before. So take it easy. And you know how to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head. It's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before. So take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before. So take it easy.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the World GR86 Series here on Chaz Draycott Media. We're here at Hockenheim for the final race of the evening in this fantastic championship. It's been so much entertainment so far, and it will be until the very final round, I can tell you that for free. Hope you're all having a wonderful night wherever you may be watching from in the world, and I hope that you are as excited as I am for this final race of the evening. There is blurry Hockenheim. And here is the literal last second of warm-up. There you go. We've timed this one perfectly. We're going to look at the grid for one more time this evening. Just going to let the session tick over properly, and we'll very quickly go through it. So it's going to be Ian Manners, Esteban Rodriguez, Pete Newman, Matthew Crisp, Adam Delmont, James Neve, Michael Evdoka, Jesper Eriksson, Michael Hafliderson, Christoph Karekis, and Alexander Davidson, not Anthony Davidson. Morgan Butler in 12th, Magic Sakovic 13th, ahead of Matty Wilde, Mikael Lees, Liam Silkstone, Roger Morton, Craig Jones, Marcus Adams, and Martin Kenyon rounds out your 20. Rob Padgham, Colin Sanson, row 11. Alex Jenkins and Harry Fox, row 12. Jean-Baptiste Masida starts from the back of the field. So, Ian Manners, 52 Racing, pole position for this one. Plenty of work to do to stick ahead of the rest of the field. And it's in these moments that the AM drivers can really shine in holding off a lot of the pro drivers and scoring some big old points in the last race of the evening. Esteban Rodriguez pops up on the front row of the grid. He's surely a race winner here. Colin Sansom is not taking to the grid, and we're just about to get underway for round 6 of the World GR86 Series from Hockenheim. And the lights are out and we're away. Manners Well, it doesn't look fast off the line, does it, this car? It really spins the wheels for a moment and then doesn't really go anywhere. Esteban Rodriguez down the inside for Pure Sim Lab. The two teammates at Pure Sim Lab hoping for a 1-2 in this race, I'm sure. Pete Newman tries to find a gap in the middle. Oh, Matty Wild's around. Matty Wild in the DCWR car has completely gone around. Is there any shenanigans at the front? Matthew Crisp is right up there as well, actually. He's really a threat in this race to these two Pure Sim Lab cars. He runs out wide, gives everybody plenty of room, but look at the field now, making its way down towards us. Down through the Parabolica they go. And it's a great sight and it's a great sound. These raspy little 4-cylinder engines. Great little race car, the Toyota GR86. Ian Manners is still somehow leading this race. He's doing a great job of it in these opening moments here. I say that though, and he's been overtaken now by Esteban Rodriguez. Pete Newman's going to try and get around the outside. I think there might have been a bit of shenanigans further back. James Neve has dropped a bunch of positions. He's now second in the AM class, but he's not got anywhere near as many cars between himself and the rest of the AMs that he used to have. He's lost 4 places in this race so far as Neve, and he's fighting with... Who is that next to him, actually? Apologies, it was Alexander Davidson trying to go through. I thought he was in the other black and orange car a bit further back, which is actually fighting Maciej Sakovic, and that is Mikael Lees involved in all of this. Oh no, around goes Alexander Davidson, championship leader. Spins on the exit of the hairpin. Has he done that himself? That's the question. Alex Davidson with an uncharacteristic mistake. Look at that, the back end of the car very loose, and he's on the power and he's kept his foot in for just too long and it will not stop spinning. Oh, that's gutting for Alex. Absolute relief for the rest of the field. Pete Newman and Adam Delmont, like I said, they've raced in MX-5s for years. They're right together now into turn 2. Ian Manners on the outside, trying to stay out of the way of Matthew Crisp. There's been big shenanigans here. JB Masida is going to round out an awful night with more contact with the wall, and I think the car is broken. Yeah, it looks very broken indeed. What on earth has happened here between these guys? JB Masida and Martin Kenyon involved in this one. And side by side down the start-finish straight. Martin slots in behind him. Oh, JB's dropped it on his own, one way then the other, and I think Martin lost it in sympathy. We both end up in the barrier. Alexander Davidson has had another issue after that. What's gone on here? Not a clue what's happened here. Let's have a look. Oh, he's got some sort of issue with the pedals or something there as Alex, and it's not the first time he's had technical issues this season. Look at this lot all glued to each other. Ian Manners bouncing off the side of Matthew Crisp's car, and in the middle of all of that as well is Michael Evdoka. He's trying to now get down the inside of Crispy. Side by side they go through the left and then through the right. Crispy's on the right there. You can see him in the, well, just a shadow lingering in the corner of the camera's view. Around the final corner they go, sunsetting here at Hockenheim. It's beautiful scenery. We've got Jesper Eriksson, then Christoph Korekis and Michael Heflidersen behind them. So a very busy pack of drivers that do not want to give an inch. Oh, speaking of giving an inch. Oh, Evdoka. I mean, there wasn't much really in terms of room there. He's had a kiss off Eriksson as well. Wow. Let's have a look at this again. So this is the move earlier. This is Ian Manners down the inside of Matthew Crisp. He has a moment. Evdoka's then going to come through on the left-hand side, just somewhere. He's there, trust me. There's Evdoka. And let's have a look, because Matthew's in front here, and he gets the run out the final corner. Oh, he just loses a little bit of speed. Well, there is a gap to begin with, and unfortunately the gap just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't really know where he expected Evdoka to go there, to be honest with you. Esteban Rodriguez, well, we know where he's going. He has absolutely disappeared off up the road. He has gone. And he's going to be loving that. Evdoka now trying again to find a way past Matthew Crisp. He looks down the inside. Crispy's trying to move on Manners, though. Oh, James Neve, who was doing so well earlier, has just been off the road for a moment and lost a place. It looks like Sakovic is a bit busy as well, trying to hold off Morgan Butler. Again, two drivers that have raced against each other in quite a lot of leagues. Rob Padgham's just had a moment and he's lost places as well, as we've looked away from it. And Liam Silkstone's just had a minute. The number of drivers here really pushing hard right now, but as we look at the order, it's Esteban Rodriguez leading the way. His teammate Pete Newman, second place. Then it's Ian Manners ahead of Michael Avdoka, Matthew Crisp, Jesper Eriksson, Christoph Karekis and Adam Delmont. Big train of cars. Avdoka's going to go down the inside. He slots in front. Whoa, big old send by Delmont. Don't know if he made contact with Eriksson there. I think he definitely made contact with Karekis. Wow. And Colin Sansom is apparently off the road for year one. Back on again. Let's have a look at what happened to Delmont here then. So he throws it up the inside. Go on the chopper cam. So he has a look, makes his intentions clear. He's down the inside, nice and late on the brakes. Makes the apex, to be fair. And, I don't know, I don't think that was too bad on Delmont's part. It came from very far back, but it wasn't a completely out of control send. As Ian Manners has actually got back in front of Michael Avdoka here. Avdoka now down the inside all over the curb, trying not to run wide into Ian Manners. Crispy's still trying to hold on ahead of Eriksson, who's then got Karekis behind him. And then Haflidason in there as well. Ian Manners is doing a great job here, I must admit. Ian's been stunning in this race so far. He's holding off all of these pro drivers for overall position. Eriksson looks down the inside of Crisp. Mikael Lees, another AM race winner, is having troubles here. Crispy's trying to get down the inside of Manners, but Eriksson's already down the inside of Crisp here as well. Karekis is sort of blocking our view, and Michael Haflidason knows that. He's trying to push him forward, get him involved in it. Big check-up on the way in. Eriksson's been tagged. There's two check-ups in one there. And this carries on. Oh, that's naughty by Haflidason, though. He doesn't need to touch the back of him there and move over to the left. I know that you want to try and slot through and, you know, try and maybe give him a bit of a push or a bump draft, but you don't need to move over sideways like that. It's very dangerous to hit the back of the car in front. And still the battles go on, and still Ian Manners is inside the top five. Great drive by Ian so far. The back of that car has been battered and bruised as Crispy flings it up the inside. He's there for a while. Ian tries to cover the gap and make it smaller. Doesn't want to put himself in danger though, and now Crispy's still with him, but still can't do anything about him. There's a battle behind. Eriksson and Karekis still glued to each other. Crispy's now down the inside of Ian Manners. It doesn't need to be contact, boys, but it's getting out of shape. I think Matthew Crisp's just trying a bit too hard here. Doesn't need to push this hard. I know that he wants to go chasing after the Pure Sims cars in front, but he needs to not let that frustration get the better of him, because he'll drive scrappy if he continues to do that. And look at that, Eriksson around the outside, sideways. Manners is wide as well, and Crispy finally gets his reward. Says thank you very much, I will go through. 2 by 2 behind Eriksson and Karekis, and then Delmont and Haflidason behind that as well. Is anybody going to go spitting off the circuit? Doesn't look like it. Looks like everyone's behaving themselves. Do I speak too soon though, as Karekis is almost turning Eriksson down the straight there. That's very close to contact. Haflidason down the inside as well. These two had a good old ding-dong in the second race. Still it carries on. Amazing racing in this championship. The World GR86 series by WSR has not disappointed in the slightest. Just to reiterate as well, the red number boards, by the way, mean they are the pro drivers. There's 2 classes in this championship, pro and AM. Ian Manners is in the AM class. Maciej Sakovic is second in class, 11th overall at the moment. James Neva, we look at here, third in class and currently 14th overall. Craig Jones, one of the drivers in the AM class, work guard by result driver, has gone off the road. He has recovered though without what looks like any damage at all, so I know he won't take that one too harshly. As Eriksson moves over to the left on Ian Manners there. Again, unnecessary contact from some of these guys. They just don't need to be touching the other car. I know it's production car style racing and touring car style racing, but they just don't need to make contact. They need to do their best to avoid it, rather than trying to squeeze each other to the inside and prove a point. It is all about mental games in motorsport. You know, you've got to get into the other drivers' heads around you, but some of the moves we're seeing, they're a little bit unnecessary as Sakovic sends one down the inside of Morgan Butler. Sakovic second in the AM class here, can potentially sense a win, because Ian Manners in that blue car, just a few places ahead, is basically his target in that class, as Haflidason been pushed out wide slightly by Delmont making his way through. I think Vliderson's got damage, you know. Left rear of that car was not behaving itself. Now we've got Harry Fox on the right-hand side of Majek. Harry's gained 13 spots in this race. What a drive by the Wiskins Racing driver. Says don't panic. Majek does not panic. Look at that move. That is absolutely vile by Majek Sakovic. It looked so composed, so beautiful. He's going to be down the inside into turn 2. Can he make it stick on the exit of here? Well, if you know Majek Sakovic, you'd put your money on the word yes. Although, to be fair, Harry Fox has held it round the outside very well indeed. We need to fast forward just a little bit up the field because Delmont is now ahead of Ian Manners, and now it's Morgan Butler and Vliderson together. The AM Racing Team machine. Morgan Butler in this championship as a privateer, of course, does drive for Pure Sims. He's got the Swede all over the back of him. Oh, Morgan needs to be careful there. He's just pushing the back of Ian Manners' car in front of him. This is epic racing once again. We're into the second half of the race. And somehow we've still got all of the field, basically, except for just the two. One of which, though, is Alexander Davidson, who has unbelievably dropped out of this race. The championship leader coming into this race meeting, no longer on track, no longer competing in this race. Morgan Butler trying everything he can on Ian Manners, but it's not working right now, is it? As I say that, it works. Morgan tries to go through. That's very close to contact there. Ian doesn't want to leave all the room. He wants big overall championship points for finishing so high up in the field. Morgan just wants to try and gain that one extra spot. He needs a bit of safety between himself and Michael Vliderson. Michael's pushing at this point. We'll go on board with the Swede. Through turn 1, everyone runs a little bit wide, but it's not enough there to get a slowdown penalty. Morgan's going to look down the inside here into turn 2, surely. He's got the run on Ian Manners. You can see even the brake light, the right rear brake light on Ian's car not quite working. Vliderson tries to let the car wash out wide. It doesn't work for him. Craig Jones is having a bit of a torrid night. I'm afraid he's had another off. I think this was the off that we saw before. Oh, is he going to get help? No, he's just lost the back end. Whoa, one way, then the other. He's had another one after that. This is down into the hairpin. Onto the brakes. Is it just going to be on the downshift like we saw before? Yeah. One way, then the other. Very, very easy to do. Vliderson and Manners making contact there as we come back to them. And was there contact between Harry Fox and Jenkins? I think there was. Fox goes completely off. Nearly ends up in his natural habitat in the woods. Sakovic is side by side with him. I think there was a bit of contact there between Jenkins and Harry Fox. Jenkins got past Sakovic not long before that as well. Oh, Vliderson just moves over to the left and hits the front of Manners. Jenkins puts it down the inside of Fox. He's just trying to be opportunistic, to be fair. A little bit scrappy in places, though, and we just don't want it to end in big incident, and it very easily could do here if they carry on pushing like they are. So, 6.5 minutes left to go. Ian Manners leads the AM class at this point in time. Esteban Rodriguez has a 4.3 second lead over his teammate Pete Newman, who is under attack from stablemate Michael Avdoka for Pure Sims Esports. Then Jesper Eriksson's in 4th place ahead of Matthew Crisp. Then it's Christoph Karekis, Adam Delmont, Morgan Butler, Michael Vliderson, and then Ian Manners, who started this race right at the front. He's dropped down, but still he's not having a bad time at all. Look at them all moving around, trying to get one over on each other here, trying to set themselves up for the best line into the hairpin. Manners has gone a bit deep, and is that Morgan Butler around? Morgan Butler is around and off the road. Morgan's had a spin, like so many have done before him at that corner. That's gutting stuff for Morgan Butler. He rejoins, but he's down in 17th place right now. Avdoka has got past Pete Newman as well. He must have done this just before we looked, just after we looked away, I should say. Yeah, he does it down the parabolica in towards the hairpin, doesn't he? Nice simple stuff by Michael Avdoka. We need to quickly go back to this though, because it's all still going on here. Harry Fox side by side with Majek Sakovic. This is Pro Driver trying to overtake Am Driver. Majek needs to be left alone here. He wants to be left alone anyway, because he needs to go chasing after Ian Manners, who's just a few cars in front. He wants to go chasing that AM victory. He got an AM win last time out at Silverstone in the first race meeting of the season. He wants to take another one, and look at that, Alex Jenkins, fastest lap of the race. 14 spots gained for Alex over the course of this race. He's having a belter. He's just on the fastest lap. Roger Morton does his fastest lap as well. The whole field is not really separated by a lot, to be honest. The top 15 separated by just 19.5 seconds. I think Harry Fox has just been off actually and lost places to Sakovic, and now potentially James Neve, who's on his left. Oh, not that he knows it. Very, very close indeed. Hard onto the brakes they go now, and Harry just makes it stick. Great looking car though, that Whiskins racing machine. Then again, it's had all of its panels bent in over the course of this race. It's certainly been dinged about. So too has Matthew Crisp in the Hurricane as it is. He's now ahead of Christoph Karekis. Tom Jacobs on Facebook. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing all right. We look back now from the Alcantech NHR car at Christoph Karekis. Adam Delmont in there as well. Delmont, a name that even Tom will remember commentating on back in the MX-5s for XI iRacing. Tom and I commentated together on a bunch of the BSR MX-5s back in the day on Apex Racing TV. And now we have this wonderful little production car, the Toyota GR86, on our screens. Delmont finished 7th earlier, car 77 P7. Still 3.5 minutes left of this race now, and he's all over the back of Christoph Karekis. Gives him a little push down the start-finish straight. Liam Silkstone, Delmont's teammate, has unfortunately had some dramas further back. Jenkins, another fastest lap of the race. But Jenkins right now behind all this is the man with the pace, to be honest with you. Let's have a look at what happened to Liam Silkstone. He's just going to maybe go a bit too hot into the hairpin, lose the back end, and then overcorrect. Or is he? No, he's just going to lose it on the grass on the exit. Well, we've seen so many cars have moments around that hairpin. It's way too easy to go too hot into there by the look of it. Esteban Rodriguez is absolutely... Wait, no. No. No way. Now, I've heard of the commentator's curse. I have quite the strong ability with the commentator's curse, but that takes the Michael. Well, in this case, it takes the Esteban. Esteban Rodriguez disconnecting on the spot and flying down the order. Michael Evdoka inherits the lead of the race here at Hockenheim ahead of Pete Newman and Jesper Eriksson with just about 2.5 minutes to go in this race. Rodriguez, by the look of it, is out, like properly out. That was not just a little blink. If I click on him, everything will stop, and yeah, he's not there. Unbelievable stuff. Esteban Rodriguez drops out. It's the commentator's connection curse, as Rob Sutherland is calling it. Absolutely, my friend. I didn't DDoS him, I promise. But that is terrifying how that suddenly just happened. That's also absolutely gutting for Esteban Rodriguez, because he's worked so hard over the course of tonight to get further up the order, to make up places. Yes, I know I criticised him slightly for being flamboyant earlier on. You know, he was making a lot of contact with a lot of cars in an unnecessary way, but he never took anybody properly off the road. You know, it was just very hard, close racing, and he put so much effort in to get up there. And now it's all come undone. We're on board now with Adam Delmont, who's still trying to push his way past Christoph Karekis. Not literally push, but he's pushing in terms of pressure, that's for sure. Sakovic just takes the lead in the AM class, by the way. Sakovic round the outside of Ian Manners. Ian takes it back, says, mind you, Manners, sunshine. Not sure what Magic could be saying to him. Magic doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's usually very funny. Down the inside he goes. Great respect there by Manners to leave him the room. Still glued together, though, as they go through the right-hander. Involved in this is Harry Fox, and I feel like he could be a spoiler in the pack right now with all of this. James Neve is behind them, and he could maybe pinch an opportunity here. He could take the AM class lead if this all goes to pot. We're going to have one more lap after this one. Michael Evdoka is coming into the final couple of corners with about 20 seconds left, as we've had in both of the other races so far tonight. This is on board with James Neve, racing for work guard by result. And in front of him, he can see a pro driver trying to upset two AM drivers who are fighting for their class lead. One lap to go then here at Hockenheimers. Oh no, Harry's dropped it! Harry absolutely drops it. No. Well, he spins like a whisk in the Whiskins racing machine. And never mind a pro upsetting the AMs, he's upset himself. But Michael Evdoka leads this race by inheritance from Esteban Rodriguez. Getting big stutters at the moment, unfortunately, which is not helping at all. We've got Mikel Lees, who's had a nightmare of a race. He's got big damage on that car, actually. Oh, Mikel, that's poor. Please don't do that. Flings the car into the middle of the road and there was another car coming. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him, but I imagine this is going to have something to do with the damage. Although, no, it's already broken, Mikel. Why are you still driving it, son? It's already very, very broken, and oh, that's not going to help at all. He's done another lap since then. Wow. I think he had, actually, no, he had the accident 7.5 minutes into the race. Wow. Is it going to be an overcorrection? Oh, one way then the other, and then that's where the damage came from. And he's driven it a long way since then. But into the final couple of corners comes Michael Evdoka for Pure Sims Esports. He's going to cross the line, and that's going to mean that Pure Sims Esports have won all 3 races tonight. Evdoka wins at Hockenheim, Newman second, Ericsson third. Great night for Pure Sims, great night for Jesper Ericsson. Karekis is fourth ahead of Delmont Crisp. Michael Heflidis and Alex Jenkins, and Maciej Sakovic takes the win in the AM class. Ian Manners second, James Neve third. Great fighting all the way through from these guys as, oh goodness me, it's all gone completely pear-shaped at the back of the pack here. Craig Jones had an off. Actually, no, this was just before, sorry. Where's Marcus Adams in all of this? So this has gone to pot. Who's he had behind him here? That's Harry Fox, isn't it? Again, as I see, Harry has been one of the flamboyant drivers this evening, and unfortunately may have caused an issue here. Let's have a look. There's a little bit of touching as they go around the hairpin there. Marcus is trying to hold on as best he can. Tries to cover the line. Into the final corner as they go. Oh, Harry's just literally lifted the rear end up off him, and oh dearie me. It's a collection there, I think, by Roger Morton, who gets involved. But Michael Evdoka takes the race win in the final race of the night here in the World GR86 Series on Chaz Draycott Media. Pete Newman secures a great second place. He'll be over the moon with that. Big, solid points for him after a very tough time at Silverstone at the start of the season. Michael Evdoka wins then. Great result for Pure Sims ahead of Pete Newman and Jesper Ericsson. Christoph Karekis finishes 4th with Adam Delmont in 5th. Matthew Crisp is 6th with Michael Heflidison in 7th. Alex Jenkins 8th. Maciej Sakovic wins the AM class in 9th ahead of Ian Manners and then James Neve. Behind them was Morgan Butler and Harry Fox. Roger Morton in 14th ahead of Rob Padgham. Then Liam Silkstone, Marcus Adams and Matty Wild. Martin Kenyon finishes in 19th with Craig Jones in 20th. Mikel Lees is 21st. Colin Sansom is 22nd, 23rd is Esteban Rodriguez, JB Masida and Alexander Davidson were non-finishers. I don't really know where to start, to be honest. That was just another absolutely bonkers race. Great fun, great entertainment all the way through. And what we're going to do is jump straight into a chat with the wonderful race winner from that final race of the night. Maybe a little bit of a bittersweet win due to the inheritance of said victory, but Michael Evdoka, welcome to the booth, my friend. It's been a while since we've had a chat, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, hello, Chaz. We haven't spoken in ages. Yeah, like you say, a bit of a hollow win, that last one, to be honest. I saw Esteban was in front of me and he was just cruising, and yeah, I was pushing, and then he saw me get into second, and he literally put a flying lap down, and then he disconnected, which is really unfortunate. So it's a bit of a hollow win for me, but yeah, other than that, the evening's been good.
I was going to say, it looked like a hell of a combo round here tonight, because I mean, I always say about Hockenheim that it's not a fun track to drive on your own when you're hot lapping, but when you put other cars against you around here, it's a fantastic circuit for motor racing, isn't it?
Yeah, and the track has been really tricky tonight. We named the, is it third, fourth corner? I don't know. They put too many numbers on these tracks, but the hairpin was Oh, it's deadly. Absolutely deadly. If you got it wrong, the car just went, and there was no coming back from it. So, but other than that, the track's been good. The racing was good, especially in that last race as well. Elbows were out, it was fantastic.
And these cars, I mean, it looks like they can really lean on each other, though. That's the thing, elbows out or not, you can have contact, you can get away with it. And I mean, even the slide that Michael Hefliderson had in front of you over the course of the evening, moments like that, you can still come back from it. And if you rewind a few years on iRacing, we wouldn't have been able to save any of the incidents that we had tonight or any of the slides. We wouldn't have been able to have contact like this. It's a definite improvement, isn't it? Even since we've met and been racing together.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I believe the new damage model is on this now since the last build. And before, I mean, the contact was good, but now the contact's it's even better with the new damage model. But that being said, the new damage model, you get a little bit of a ding and you lose quite a bit of pace, which is not how it was, But other than that, the racing is great in these. Great little car. So glad I sort of did this league. Just needed a bit of a break from the GTs, but absolutely loving the racing with this.
Well, so am I. It's absolutely epic entertainment. Well done on the race win, though, Michael. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Just Pure Sims. Thank you for those guys. They're always good fun to be around, and we got quite a few of us in this, but we tried to keep the numbers down. But just thank you to those guys. Looking forward to next week. Thank you, Chaz, as well. I haven't spoken to you ages. Nice to speak to you, mate.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, Michael. Very well done, mate. And hopefully we will speak to each other more often through the series and, of course, other avenues as well. But good to speak to you, mate. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Thank you.
And from one Pure Sims driver in the camp, I move over to the next one, Morgan Butler, who joins me in the box. Morgan, a little bit gutted, I imagine, about the end of that race there, but it looked like you had a very enjoyable night of racing, though. You had your elbows out at all points.
Oh, the ones when you're having your elbows out are the most fun. I mean, I think most people would tend to agree. A quiet race at the front is never entertaining. And it also doesn't give, entertaining viewing either. So getting the elbows out is always a good, enjoyable bit of driving.
And talk to me about this circuit, because it is a Marmite circuit for a lot of people. Did you come here tonight expecting to enjoy yourself or have a rough time?
I mean, with Hockenheim's kind of one of those tracks that's, if you're good at it, you're good at it. I mean, if you're not, you struggle. Well, that's kind of how it seems to me. It's never been a track that I've been any good at. Even back to F1 2010, I couldn't drive it on that. Was it on that? Probably. I couldn't drive it on any of the old F1 games either, let alone on iRacing and harder cars to drive, arguably.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's one of those, certain cars would really suit this place, other cars would be absolutely horrendous here. And this car just seems to be one of those that it goes well wherever we go, doesn't it? I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it gives you more reaction time and more chance to lean on each other and just have close racing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think those type of cars are, for me at the minute, the most enjoyable ones. Having gone from driving the GTs for as long as I did, obviously you'll know, never really necessarily having the pace, and kind of moving into more of the cars I would call maybe club sport cars. Slightly easier to access, easier to maybe, well, not easier to drive, because I mean no car's necessarily easy to drive, but easy to maybe find that consistency. Obviously with driving things like these, the new Clio Cup, the TCRs, I've really kind of found my, not to sound too cringe, but really kind of found my mojo again.
Yeah. Oh, I get that though. Certain cars can be the one to sort of trigger that, and you just get used to driving, enjoying driving, and it gives you a positive outlook on whatever car you jump in from that point onwards. So, it makes a big difference, mate. About your championship though so far, up and down in places, contact incidents, all sorts, but still, you've shown that you've got great pace. Can we expect race wins from you this season if sometimes the reverse grids are a little bit fortunate?
I mean, try to be, obviously optimistic. I'd like to hope so, but obviously with some of the speed of some of the people in here, Alex, we're going to see Ash obviously at some point. He's really quick in these. Matthew, Chris. But I mean, these are guys that are incredibly fast in these cars. So I'd like to hope I can maybe be up there occasionally, but I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath. Because I mean, if I did, if I held my breath till I got a win in this, I might not be making it to next week.
That's fair enough, mate. Well, either way, Morgan, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
obviously same as Mike. Shout out to obviously all the Pure Sims boys, having a good laugh every night, jumping on, doing these, having a really good bit of fun.
Well, it's always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much again, and hopefully we'll see you in, well, a week's time.
Also, actually, yeah, and also shout out to yourself for the quality broadcasts as always.
Thank you very much, Morgan.
I can't forget that. That should have been the most important one.
That is all good, my friend. All good, mate. Well, hopefully I'll speak to you again next week after a bit more fortune on the track here in the World GR86 series. Cheers.
Fingers crossed.
Cheers, mate. Well, there we go then. Morgan Butler, another up and down night for him, but still a very entertaining one all round. That is unfortunately all we've got time for here tonight on Chaz Draycott Media and the World GR86 series from WSR. It's been another absolute belter. Great night for Pure Sims if you think about the long run. So let's see how it goes in a week's time when the championship moves on. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Really hope you've enjoyed my company, and I have certainly enjoyed yours. But as I say, I will see you in a week's time for the next rounds of the World GR86 series. Good night.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a drift to show out.
Ben Gregory now, I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.